available all morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
And right now at 6 o'clock, breaking news overnight in Hartford. A young man shot and killed, and the search for his killer is on.
Flights resuming across the country after a computer outage caused a ripple effect at airports all across the country. What we're learning this morning.
Also, several catalytic converters were stolen in one shoreline community. We'll have the latest on that theft as we're starting to see that happening more lately.
Well, good Thursday morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning. It is Thursday, getting closer to the weekend, and right now it is quiet outside, but some rain, maybe snow still. Matt Scott on the way.
When is that happening?
Over the next couple hours, as a matter of fact. We're going to show you the radar in a second. It's knocking on our door. Not a major snow event by no means. Let's make that clear right now. The rain later on tonight, coupled with some breezy winds, may be a bigger issue, and we'll talk about that. A slight mess today. It's just a sloppy day. Rain, a little snow this morning, but more rain later on. The weekend, however, quiet and mild. Temperatures critical because obviously where you're seeing the numbers below freezing, the snow, what little snow we get may stick. So Torrington, Windsor Locks, I think by the time it makes it to you, the temperatures will moderate a little bit. New Milford right on the edge, Waterbury on the edge, Danbury though at 35. So you could tell that as Danbury gets a little bit of snow starting to move over the border from the Hudson Valley, we're really not going to see any of that stay on the ground. And as the temperatures moderate later on the day, we'll start to see this change over into rain. A little bit of rain coming in. There's a lot more though for later on tonight. Here's the quick guidance for the next few hours. And again, watch, you'll see a couple of snow showers flirting through mainly the Litchfield Hills north and west of 84, but it changes over to rain by noontime, and as the temperatures warm up overnight, obviously it's going to wash all the snow, the little snow away, but this is the bigger concern. The rain that will be heavy at times while we sleep. So, a bus stop forecast, 32 degrees now, right on the edge of freezing. Will moderate the temperatures. Tonight, they aim for 50. They don't last that way for the weekend, though. We'll talk about that forecast coming up. 6:02, let's go to the roads. Here's Lauren Zenzi. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. So far, so good out on the roadways. No crashes or incidents to report. That is some good news. Let's bring you into a live drive from Rocky Hill into the capital city. It'll take you about 7 minutes. Traffic moving right at speed limit. Things are looking good. Lots of green out on the roads. In and around the capital city on the eastbound side of I-84, as you're coming into the Hartford Tunnel, you will experience a little bit of a backup, but overall really not much to complain about in and around the capital city. Some moderate volume out on the roadways on I-84 east and westbound as you're heading in and out of the Mixmaster and Waterbury. Down in the New Haven area, 91 over to I-95 moving smooth. The Merritt Parkway not looking too bad. And as we take a live look at our drive times, 95 in both directions and the Merritt Parkway for now are all moving smooth. Of course, we'll keep you up to date every step of the way out on the roadways for your morning commute. We'll check in again coming up at 6:30. Tim and Erica, back over to you.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Well, breaking overnight in Hartford, a young man is dead after he was shot late last night.
Yeah, it happened near Broad and Grand Streets in the Frog Hollow neighborhood. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live at the Hartford Police Station at this point with more on what investigators know so far. Brooke, good morning.
Oh, good morning. Within the last 10-20 minutes or so, Hartford police were able to identify that victim. They say it's 18-year-old Julius Rivera. He was shot and killed late last night, and now police are still searching for that suspect about 8 hours later. They tell us around 10 o'clock last night, they were called to the Broad Street area after a shot spotter was activated. The shot spotter technology is set up throughout the city and sends police an alert anytime a gunshot is detected. Investigators tell us when they arrived, they found 18-year-old Julius Rivera with at least one gunshot wound. Police say the teenager was immediately taken to the hospital but died from his injuries around 2 o'clock this morning. Investigators say they're still searching for the person who shot and killed Rivera, but they've not released any sort of suspect information at this time. They say the Hartford Major Crimes Unit and Crime Scene Division are still investigating this case. Hartford police are asking anyone who may have seen or heard anything in that Frog Hollow area last night around 10 o'clock to go ahead and give them a call. You can do so on their anonymous tip line. That number is on your screen. It is 860-722-8477, and they would like to have any information that can help them with this case. Live in Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Hey, Brooke, thank you for that update. We do appreciate it.
Well, right now, 6:05 flights are resuming all across the country after that system failure halted planes for almost 2 hours yesterday.
It was a chaotic time yesterday morning. Fox 61's Keith McGilvery now joins us in the newsroom with a closer look at the residual impacts of that 90-minute outage. Good morning.
Yeah, Tim and Erica, what it really caused was a ripple effect throughout the entire industry. As you folks pointed out, the outages has been resolved here, but there are maybe a few flights this morning impacted. As always, check your airlines before heading to the airport. So many folks at home wondering, okay, so what happened here? Well, here's what we know this morning. Somehow the notice to air mission system, it went offline, basically giving safety information to flight crews so they can avoid hazards like runway closures, weather, and airport construction issues. That's what it's supposed to do. The FAA and the White House say there is no evidence of a cyber attack, and the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, talking about what he's keeping his mind on going forward.
But obviously our more immediate focus is technical, understanding exactly how this happened, why the redundancies and the backups that were built into the system were not able to prevent the level of disruption that we saw today, and to make sure that we have 100% clarity on any and all steps that are needed so that it can.
All right, Buttigieg also said one of the main focuses here, of course, is to make sure this does not happen again. In a tweet by the FAA last night, they say they are working to find the root cause of the system outage. Preliminary work has traced that outage back to a damaged database file. They go on to say they're working diligently to find the cause of the issue and are taking steps to prevent this kind of disruption from happening again. And what a disruption it caused for these folks here. Taking a look at this video from yesterday morning, people waiting for their flights all across Bradley. Now those flights did take off once the issue was resolved, but it certainly isn't fun if you are somewhere and you need to be somewhere else. One passenger talking to Fox 61's Gabby Molina last night said her trip home was supposed to take about 2 hours, ended up taking much closer to 9.
We were ready to board, and it just kept stalling and stalling, and you knew something was going on. At that point, I hadn't turned on the news, so I didn't know what was going on. I had 7 flights today that were rescheduled and canceled, and then I finally got a flight out.
Kelly, Lauren checking the boards. I looked at them as well. So far, things look to be going pretty smoothly at Bradley, so some good news on that front. All right, ahead at 7:30 this morning, we'll go into depth on how the notice to air mission system works and why this caused such a widespread outage. But for now, in the newsroom this morning, Keith McGilvery, Fox 61 News.
Okay, Keith, thank you.
Thanks, Keith. One man is in police custody accused of shooting a woman in the chest at a home in East Hartford. Officers say it happened on Lafayette Avenue at about 3:30 Wednesday afternoon. Police also add that once they arrived there on the scene, the man came out of the house with a gun and threw it away as police surrounded him. Now, that woman was sent to the hospital. No word on her condition. The shooter and the victim have not been identified.
We got developing news out of East Haven, where 2 people had their catalytic converters stolen right off their vehicles. This happened at the Woodview Senior Apartments parking lot. Police at this point haven't released much of a description of the people they're looking for. We only know they're looking for 2 men who are driving a gray sedan. So if you have any information that could help out police in East Haven, or maybe some video footage if you have it of that area, please reach out to them.